Hello, friends. Welcome to the Science Show, and you are watching Akulmach. My name is Chandrakant, and today we are talking about something very interesting, which is about how do we colonize the outer planets. We are already living on the planet Earth. We know that the Earth is very well suited for not only life but also advancement in life. And if you see all other animals on the planet Earth, they all are thriving. There are enough resources, but then these resources are going to run out one day, and therefore, as a advanced species, we have to plan. And therefore, I think the right thinking humans are planning to settle on the surface of the Mars. And in fact, they want to go out and colonize not only our own solar system but also go beyond the solar system, interstellar space, and go to other stars. So we can start at home. We can start to see if we can actually at least go to the moon and establish our man base or human base, some sort of human colony on the moon, because moon is only 3 days away from us using the current day technology. And by the way, I'm live across all social media platform. If you have any opinion, you can actually use the social media to communicate, and your question will start flashing here. I will read and I can respond to you. So this way we can actually have an interaction. Or also, we are running a lucky draw. As you can see, if you type this command in your message, then you will automatically get into the lucky draw. All right, so what is the current option that we have? Let's look at the current options that we have. And obviously the current option is the planet Mars. Everybody is now looking at going to Mars, and the shiny red planet, where we want to basically set up our own base, where you want to imagine the image where humans are walking around in their Martian suits and probably doing mining, and probably living in some sort of underground dwellings, and also generating electricity on the surface of the Mars. So it looks very fantasy build imagination. It's like we can all fantasize going to Mars. In fact, Mr. Elon Musk is set forth his life work to basically have 1 million man on the surface of the Mars. However, this fantasy is slightly difficult to achieve. I'll tell you why. The Martian, although it's very close by, but it is not as close as Venus. However, Martian surface is always baked in huge amount of radiation. There is a lot of radiation on the surface of the Mars because the sun is blasting very high energy waves, and there is no atmosphere, there is no magnetism. So even before we start planning a trip to the Mars, we have to see how we can actually live comfortably without any risk of any radiation poisoning. That is challenge number one. So even though we can fantasize, we can start looking at the movies, but it is easier said than done. How do we reduce the amount of radiation that we are getting? Now once we have figured that out, then suppose we start wearing some sort of space suit and protect ourselves, but then what is that we are going to eat when we are on surface of Mars? The plants and our pets will still be exposed to the radiation. And as it is, even though the surface of the Mars has adequate resources like water and all that, however, creating a pressurized atmosphere will always be a challenge, because the natural atmosphere of Mars is 100 times less pressure. It creates less pressure than Earth. So in such a low pressure environment, our bodies are not at all suited to live in such low pressure areas. Therefore, even though Mars is a destination which is very fantasy filled, and we can have a lot of imagination around Mars, and a lot of rich people like Mr. Elon Musk, and also NASA, and also ISRO from India, they are all racing towards Mars. They are competing to basically land on the Mars with the intention that one day they will establish a colony on the surface of Mars, and a thriving society, human society, will start living on the surface of the Mars. However, it's, as I said, it's quite tough. What are the other options? We know the fact that we have to go out there and make another planet as our home that will increase our chance of survival as a species, as human species, along with our animals. This has happened in the past. Noah has done it in the Christian civilization. If you look at Indian civilization, Manu has done it. Kick-started the human civilization when, in case there was a disaster on the planet Earth. So if we have more than 2 locations, then there is a twice as much chance of survival in case of any calamity. Therefore, we have to go out. But what is the destination? We cannot go to Venus. It's it's very difficult to live on Venus. If at all we have to live on Venus, it has to be in the skies of Venus, where we have to live in floating city, because on the surface it is a opposite environment than Mars. So let's not spend too much time on that. So today, the best candidate for us to go out into our solar system and establish a colony, we have to look at the Titan. Titan is a moon of Saturn. Although there are candidates even before Saturn, the moons of Jupiter like Europa, but since Jupiter is a very large planet, it creates a lot of radiation, and all the moons of the Jupiter are always baked in the radiation which is coming from the planet Jupiter, even though the sun radiation is quite weak out there. However, the Jupiter itself creates radiation and a lot of heat and a lot of other environment which is very, very peculiar to the Jupiter system. Therefore, the moons of Jupiter may not be entirely suitable for human population. Therefore, the next best option is Titan, which is beyond Jupiter. Let's go to Saturn, and we can reach there in like couple of years, like 3 to 4 years if we are going slow. If we are moving rather fast, we can reach there in 2 years, because we know that the event horizon has taken only 2 years to reach Saturn. So if we are able to make spacecraft much faster than event horizon, because event horizon was aimed at going to Pluto. So if we can travel faster, then we can reach earlier also. However, Titan is a good candidate for us to make human colony, because Titan is quite far off from sun, and therefore it has very little solar radiation. Also, it is the only place in our entire solar system which, at least in looks, is very similar to Earth. It has a geology, even though there are different things which exist on Titan. However, the geology of Titan is very, very similar to what we find on Earth. There are oceans, there are rivers, there is a weather system, there is rain, there is erosion, there is a night sky, day sky, all kind of things that humans are used to experiencing every day, every minute of the day on Earth. You can probably experience the same or near similar experience on the surface of Titan. Therefore, Titan is a good candidate for us to plan a human settlement. If we are moving out of Earth, let us not stop at Mars. Let us go beyond and establish our colony on Titan. For a simple reason, the amount of radiation which is found on the surface of Titan is even better than what you get on Earth, because first of all, it is very far off from the sun. The Saturn planet does not emit so much of radiation like Jupiter. At the same time, Titan has a very thick atmosphere, so it stops all kinds of radiation coming over towards whatever little is coming. It will be stopped. So Titan is a good candidate for us to move and look at that as an option for us to settle, to make the human colony. However, it is not hunky-dory. Titan, let me tell you, Titan has atmosphere of almost 90% nitrogen, and remaining 5% methane. And what you see in this picture, that orangish hue in the sky, is because of methane. And as it is, the sun looks very, very tiny, very small. So it's a cold place. And now you will ask me, if we go to Titan, what we will breathe, because there is no oxygen. Obviously, there is no oxygen. However, the challenge of living on the surface of Mars is same as living on the surface of Titan. We have to generate our own atmosphere, which is very comfortable for us. So similarly, the resources are available on the surface, where we can actually use some of these chemicals and create our own breathable air. However, we will not require a pressurized suit. We will not require the some sort of very heavy duty suit, because the atmospheric pressure is very similar to Earth. So if we have a very simple suit which can protect us from the cold environment, that would be enough. Because even on Mars, the temperature is minus 80 degrees on the surface. So you will not only require a suit which is like a pressure suit, because the atmospheric pressure is also very low on Mars. You also need temperature control mechanism. But here you don't need a lot of pressurized suit, because the pressure outside is very bearable. So all you need is a suit which can protect you from the cold temperature. The temperature on Titan has been recorded to be equal to about minus 180, quite low, because the temperature is very low. That is why the methane in the atmosphere becomes liquid, because on Earth methane is a gas. We all know that. But on the surface of Titan, it is liquid. And it's because of the low temperature. There is so much low temperature that the gas becomes liquid, and then this liquid creates the weather pattern on the surface of Titan, where the methane evaporates, goes up into the sky, and then become rain and fall back. And therefore you see huge oceans of methane. There are rivers, lakes, rain of methane. So methane is a combustible gas. However, since there is no oxygen in the atmosphere, there is no chance of methane ever catching fire. And we know that the methane has carbon, it has hydrogen, and there is a little bit of oxygen, it has nitrogen. So it's a complex compound. However, methane is the compound which probably kick-started the life on Earth very early, in the early part of the when the Earth was quite young. So I think this is a good opportunity for us to understand what happens in such a scenario where there is methane. Can methane play a role of starting the life, or if there is life that exists on the surface of Titan, what kind of life is that? Can we utilize that system to our benefit? Can we actually convert some of these elements for our benefit? Now, since Titan is such a rich environment, the amount of resources available on Titan are also immense. So we can use our knowledge of chemistry and use all these rich things which are available on the surface of Titan, and we can actually start mining these things like nitrogen, carbon, stuff like that, which may be useful for us, because the space mining is also going to become a very big industry in future. There is already a talk about asteroid mining, etc. So this opportunity for us to not only live comfortably on Titan, even though the temperatures are low, the sunlight is very low, it's sort of darkish, but then we will get used to it. We can always create artificial light. We can create habitats where wearing less pressure suits, humans can actually work and start doing some activity like mining, etc. Also scientific studies of understanding how life can evolve in our universe, because at such low temperature, if there is life, then that means there could be life everywhere else. So I think this is a good opportunity for our scientists to go and study all these things. So there are a lot of economic activity that we can look at, and it is not very far off. If we can plan a trip to Titan in less than 2 years, then suddenly the trip to Titan, the colony on Titan, start looking very feasible. And the material which are available on Titan are also because it's a larger body. It's the gravity is as much as Earth. The pressure of the atmosphere is as much as Earth, and there is a lot of water available in the frozen state. Now the scientists are speculating that the surface of Titan may be hardened ice, and because it's minus 180, no water can exist in liquid form. On the surface of this ice crust, the methane actually forms lakes and oceans. So basically, like we have the rocky crust on Earth on which we live, on Titan there could be a chance where the crust is made. So there is a lot of water which is in frozen state. We can utilize it to create our fuel, our water, even our atmosphere. So there are a lot of material available for us to play around. We can just make simple habitat, create heat. And talking about heat, I think we have to look at what are the best mechanism for us to create heat. And here comes, at such low temperature, at minus 180 degrees, the best way to generate heat is the nuclear method. So we can probably create the fusion reactors, because fusion reactors create a lot of heat, and it's a clean energy. So Titan is one place where we can actually start looking at building huge fusion reactors, because the native low temperature of the planet will also help us in controlling the heat of the fusion reactors. And fusion reactors will create a lot of electricity, a lot of heat for us to live comfortably in our habitat. So now suddenly this whole trip to Titan becomes really attractive, feasible, even using the current day technology. And Titan has a lot of ingredient for us to or lot of imagination, actually much more imagination, much more inspiration as compared to Mars. Because if you go to Mars, there are no rivers, there is no ocean, there is nothing like that, and a lot of challenges in building the whole stuff. Whereas on Titan, even if you initial people, the first pioneers who land on Titan will be able to use a lot of local stuff available using 3D printing technology and knowledge of fusion reactor or even fission reactors. They will be immediately be able to create some sort of industrial operation in a very quick manner on the surface of Titan. And therefore they can also roam around on the surface without any worry of getting any radiation sickness, etc. And they can actually set up a perimeter, start building the early cities, start building the water generation plants, start creating the electricity generation like a fusion reactor, etc. So it's going to be very exciting if we plan to visit the Titan in next 2 decades maybe, because it's quite feasible. And as I said, that the temperatures are quite low, but humans are very well suited to live and work in a very low environment. There are a lot of cities in minus 50, minus 60 that exist on the planet itself, our own planet. People in the Siberia lives in minus 70, and it's a sort of a very common thing. So when we can live in minus 70, we can always live in minus 100, minus 180. All we need to do is basically understand this low temperature, and we have to just make sure whatever we are doing it right, and we are generating heat. And therefore, if we have the fusion reactor created, that will give us clean energy, a long-term solution for generating heat. And there are a lot of material available for us to mine and also use it. So we can actually create another world on the surface of Titan, and that will also help us propel into the outer solar system. So and it's a better destination than surface of Mars. Titan overall offers fantastic living conditions, fantastic very good quality surface, enough pressure in the atmosphere, although it is not livable. But when we go out on any other planet like Moon, Mars, Venus, we have to basically create the environment for us to survive. So why not go to place which offers less challenges? And Titan is one body in our solar system which offers quite significantly less challenges for us to plan future colonies on another candidate within our solar system. The difference between Earth and Titan is the only low temperature as compared to Earth, so that we can overcome and we can actually create habitat on Titan. So friends, this is something which I wanted to share with you, that, and also raise a question that Titan may be a better candidate for human settlement to go out there better than Mars. Although Titan trip may take longer, but that can create a sort of a permanent solution, sort of a long-term justifiable justifiable trip to the outer solar system. All right friends, so I take your leave today, only to catch you again in the next edition of Science Show.